that's
It's
better.
like Austin Powers.
All right. Are we live right now? I cannot tell. Okay. What's up with it? This is Melee on Me 3x10, titled When's Melee. Joining me today are Taffokins, aka Daniel Lee, aka the best blogger for Melee in the universe. What's up, Daniel? How's it going, dude?
What's up with it? Going well.
And we got SFAT. Oh my god, we have a huge lag. Okay.
What's up?
Sorry, we have SFAT, aka Zach, aka the guy who got second to Westfalls at SCR last weekend and doesn't want to talk about it on the agenda.
No, I will.
And we got Mango, or like the Shadow of Mango plus MIOM Baby in the background. Dude, Mango, you always have like the darkest lighting in every room you're in when you're on the podcast.
It's a sad life when you're dead. Everything's a little darker. That's the way it is.
Yeah, dude. And finally, joining us is also Pew Pew You. We got two people making their MIOM podcast debuts. We got Zach SFAT and Pew Pew You, aka Kevin Toy.
What's up, stream?
How's it going, dude?
It's going well. How are you?
Not bad. This is the first Scarless episode we've done, I think, which might go rough. I don't know. I kind of hosted like the Evo lineup announcement thing, but that kind of went rough because Daniel was playing League all of that show. So it was just me and Sheridan talking, basically. Yeah, dude. And Crimson Blur. Crimson Blur was good, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what do we got today? We have, okay, so first, SCR recap. That's coming up. More Evo speculation, some other announcements. Later on, we're going to have Matt.Zeb come on, talk about the Melee games, which is a pretty awesome circuit he's got out in New England. But yeah, I kind of want to start with the Evo and MLG news, or lack thereof, because, okay, we have Evo 2014 registration, which went live yesterday, and does not have Melee at it. So, like, Daniel, what do you think? How long is it until Evo gives up?
They would like to plan ahead, but I don't think there's much of an opportunity cost to have them not sign up. They don't have to. I mean, it's no loss to them if they do it last minute, in my opinion. Like, in terms of a financial sense, it would be strategic for them to keep it as long as they can, or like leave the door open. So I'd say,
so I get
Evo's in July. So I'd say early June.
Really?
Yeah. So I was looking at the. Yeah, I don't know about that, June. I mean, I think all of us in here would probably go to Evo no matter what, even if they waited till June to like confirm it. But like, say there was like an Evo of East Coast, would you 1 month in advance like be willing to buy a plane ticket out there at like an increased cost and just like say fuck it, it's gonna be lower attendance, but I'm going anyway?
I'm the
Zach,
wrong person
what do you think?
to ask for that, because I still have.
Yeah.
If there was an East
I think
Coast
June 11th is,
and I had a month in advance, I'd probably not go if I had a month in advance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I would also not go.
Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at
part
the
of the
schedule for
experience
Evo.
of Evo is also Vegas.
Like the pre-registration timeline is, I think, April 11th. April 11th is when the early registration like goes up. So in my opinion,
increases.
It's April 11th, do or die. If Nintendo doesn't respond by then, I think it's GG's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've been waiting for like almost a whole month now, right? So, I mean, another month we should get an answer.
I guess like rumors are they're kind of close, but they've been saying that for like a month now. So like who knows?
Yeah,
I don't even know. MLG Anaheim's the same thing.
Knows.
Like, is it? Yo, I think we're lagging. The lag is real.
Lagging.
That's what the stream says.
Everyone's saying we're lagging.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone else that could host?
Gonna have to deal with it.
All right.
I'm gonna wait for John.
So in the meantime,
otherwise I'll move on.
All right. Well, in the meantime, don't sign up for Evo if your intention is to sign up for Melee yet. Mr. Wizard has sent out tweets to say don't sign up if you're looking to sign up for Evo, just for Melee. All right, let's move on to the next topic,
everything else. MLG too, dude. Is there a possibility that MLG and Evo are like working against each other to try to get exclusive Melee this summer? Is that even a possibility? Someone told me that earlier, and I was like, shit, that'd be insane.
No way. I don't believe it.
Insanely grimy, but dude, as like an MLG person from their perspective. Yeah.
Well, from a strategic standpoint,
maybe.
Like, let me ask this question then. Let's say you found out MLG did that, or the public did. Would that stop them from entering MLG Anaheim?
I don't think it would.
I don't think so.
Casuals don't care, dude. They just, the casuals are, 80, 90% of the attendance? They're just going to follow the hype, and MLG equals hype.
That's true. I would agree with that. So what do you guys think is, holding it up overall? I mean, Nintendo, I would think at this point Nintendo is aware of the situation, so, like, I don't see what they could be talking about for so long. Is it, like, money? Is it... Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think they're probably trying to come up with a way that they can promote their new Smash game at our Smash events.
Oh, dude.
I don't know. Like, that's like the only way they can really profit from us, right?
I think so. Maybe.
I think that would be like the Blizzard way of doing things. Like, Blizzard would promote their newer games, and so would Capcom by promoting like Ultra Street Fighter 4 or whatever. But I don't think Nintendo really thinks like that. Like, do they want to really cater to the quote unquote like?
Do we know what Nintendo thinks like though? Like, there's never been any sort of transparency with Nintendo and how they deal with things like this. I think Arian said it really well on the last time, like the EVO 2014 lineup mini show we did. He was like, there is no esports department at Nintendo. Like, they have no idea how to deal with this. It's probably like a brand new thing to them. So I'm not really sure that they even...
Maybe they are forming an esports team. That's why it's taking so long.
I think they're forming a ragtag group right now, and probably just like aligning with like how proceed, how they want the game to be presented at MLG and EVO.
I think that could either turn out kind of anywhere from mediocre to really bad. It's like, when your RA like runs a tournament and they have no clue what they're doing. Like, they bring LCDs, they make the rule set bogus, and they're like, look at us, guys, we're running a tournament and doing a service for you guys, and it turns out to be completely awful. That's what I feel like Nintendo is.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
Nintendo,
we're gonna have...
this is the thing. I think it might be kind of a good sign that we haven't heard anything yet. Well, first of all, it's bad that we don't have a confirmation, like, first and foremost, but I think the fact that there hasn't been a complete rejection off the top of the bat, like, is still working in our favor. They're clearly talking to Nintendo. That's what Wizard has, like, strongly implied, and, like, rumors are Salad Jake's also working on it too.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're kind of at the same point we were 2 weeks ago. I don't think there's too much more to be discussed there. Like, TLDR version is Still waiting on Nintendo to give Evo and MLG the green light. Nobody knows if it's going to be a green light or more of like a, man, we don't like what you're doing, but we'll let you do this with like a list, like a scroll of demands. Here you go. Nobody knows.
So what's the next catastrophe we'll have after this?
Dude, I don't know.
ROF3? Anyway, ROF3.
Catastrophe? I don't even know. ROF3 is the European MLG grassroots program. So MLG they're kind of playing this smart, I think, in terms of they're not like showing Nintendo anything like super out there, but they're just going with this grassroots program so that the TOs can run it themselves and MLG can kind of distance themselves and not get into legal trouble if Nintendo decides, fuck you guys, we're not going to let you stream. 2 weeks ago was Shuffle, and I think that was pretty significant. That's the first actually like MLG associated event that we literally streamed like 24 hours of Smash onto MLG.TV. So that's setting a precedent. Like MLG is like not afraid at a certain level. They're not afraid of Nintendo. So that's good to see. And yeah, the grassroots program, I guess, is moving along. I don't know what there is to discuss about ROF. What does it stand for? Do you guys know? Republic of Fighters.
I don't even know. This is the first time I've heard of ROF.
Yeah, apparently Beast was like maybe going to be the MLG grassroots event in Europe, but it was coming up too fast, so I think ROF came in and snatched that away. But I think France has a pretty good scene, so I have a lot of faith in that event.
Nice.
What else?
Let's go to Europe, guys. Wait, are they playing NTSC because it's the MLG event?
Yeah, I don't know. NTSC, PAL? I think they should just use PAL just because of logistics reasons. Like, it'd be super hard to get NTSC out there. The number of discs and setups they need.
Yeah, that's true. Well, what else is confirmed, Raw?
I don't even know. Melee. Yeah, Melee. Melee is confirmed at NCR. Thanks to Sheridan for making that happen. I'm sure all of you guys are going to go. And the difference this year is it's Saturday and Sunday only. And we'll talk about it later. But yeah. Oh, yeah, Sacramento. That's weird.
Yeah.
It's a good distance away from San Francisco where it was last year, right? Or at least in Sunnyvale.
It's super far away.
Yeah. Yeah. I think why they did that was because there's no legitimate venue in San Jose that's affordable. And I think John Choi realized after last year that it would be cheaper to move elsewhere. So I'm crossing my fingers. I'm wondering, is this cheaper than last? It's roughly the same price, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But they're moving because the venue's cheaper in Sacramento.
I'm going to get my revenge at NorCal Regionals.
You better.
NorCal Regionals. Revenge on who? I'm not following.
On West Balls, since he won SoCal Regionals, I'm going to win.
Oh, for some reason I thought it was Kevin talking. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Is that versus West Balls round 2 at NCR? Should be fun.
Yeah.
And also, April, the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
The next
Sheridan's
episode
all over the place.
Featuring Hacks.
The next episode, Mango, Hacks, they're coming into town. It's a kind of a strategic time frame because I guess a lot of people are in town for Scar's wedding and are crazy enough to stay for a week, like Mango and Hacks.
Wait, who's doing that? Oh, Mango.
Me.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So Hacks, is this true? I've heard that Hacks is going to bring out the Falcon again. I'm so happy to hear this.
That's what he said in Facebook comments, but we'll see about when he actually gets here.
I think through the campaign to see. When we were voting on who to send over to the NorCal, Hacks to promote himself said, "I'm willing to play people with Falcon and also play friendlies with people who donated money." So I think that was like the pitch he made so that he could win the Hearts of NorCal to send them over.
We're also gonna have that Falcon round robin with Hacks
Yes.
and Smoke Two Joints. And
Yes.
probably
So
our
Hacks.
very own Juggle Guy.
No, absolutely not.
No, you have to. You have to.
No, I'm not going to shame the Falcon Round Robin. That's a sacred
I didn't hear
event
about
that
this.
only happens every 4 years. Pound 4, and now the next episode.
Hey,
Was
Robin,
it
what do you have
Hacks,
to lose?
Hacks, Lord, SS, and Scar? Is that the lineup? Well, I don't know if Scar's going to be
Mango?
there. You might have Honey Guns.
No,
Yeah,
Scar's
Mango.
not gonna
What
be
about Juggle Guy? That Juggle
Yeah,
Guy.
Nope,
That
no
Juggle
Juggle
Guy,
Guy.
I think, has to be in there.
there. Well, Juggle Guy, you have nothing to lose. You represent the Midwest.
Wow! God damn.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. So I think you have nothing to lose. So we're gonna put you in.
Dude,
Alrighty.
speaking of Lord,
Anyway,
I was playing Lord at Evo in friendlies, and he totally did like a Doc up B cancel combo on me.
yeah.
Lord's gonna be there, right?
That's what he
He's
does.
part of the Falcon Round Robin. Like he's got to be part of that.
I don't know. Lord is kind of like the SS. You never know if he's going to come or not until the day of the
He'll
tournament.
come if it's convenient. He'll come if it's convenient for him.
Damn. Okay.
There have been times where we'd offer rides and we'd pay for his entry fee and he'd still not come. So yeah,
That's what I realized with some people. Like you can bribe them as much as you want and offer them like housing or whatever, but if they don't want to come to the tournament, they just don't want to come to the tournament. Anti-shoutouts to Dark Rain for not wanting to come to Big House 2 and Big House 3.
Anti-shoutouts.
Yeah, dude.
Anyway, so next
I'm hearing
episode
Dark
is coming up, and we are excited for it. A lot of great people. I think hopefully Pew Pew gets his revenge on Hacks. That'd be really cool. And yeah, so NorCal Regionals made a few adjustments. SoCal Regionals, let's talk about that. Let's move on to other tournaments that have happened recently. So, quick talk. Recap. Juggle Guy, do you want to go over this?
Sure. I was just a spectator, so I don't know, how it ran or whatever, but I think we should probably start with the top 8 recap because that was a pretty intense couple hours of sets. We had Westballs, SFAT, S2J, and Shroomed on winner's side, and then Axe, Scar, Def, and Okami on loser's side. Scar beating Fly Amanita to get in. That's like, yo.
Wait,
the upset of the century.
He really impressed me in pools. Like the way he had to beat Crimson Blur in winners finals to get out was astounding. So how difficult a path he had to take.
What was the backstory behind that? Crimson Blur got second seed in his pool. How on earth did that happen?
It's because a lot of people didn't show up.
Basically, initially, Lucky was supposed to be in their pool, so it was supposed to be Lucky, Scar, and then Crimson. So it's pretty hard to make it out if you have Lucky and Scar. But then
That's
Lucky
fair.
wasn't able to show up. And so we moved Hugo to that pool because Hugo missed his pool in the morning. But Hugo said he could make it. So no Lucky, no Hugo, which resulted in Geez, I'm so bored versus Crimson Blur in winner semis, and then Crimson Blur versus Scar versus finals.
And Oxy, and all
Anyway.
Oxy winner semis.
Yeah. Jeez. But Scar impressed
Fly
me.
Amanita getting
I'll say it
bounced
again.
early, right?
By our own MIOM team. Shouts to Sheridan, our Dr. Z, and Scar, our washed up Falcon player. Were there any other upsets offhand that happened day 1 or day 2?
A Rookie versus Tafkins.
Oh gosh. Yeah. I don't know what happened there. I 3-stocked in game 1, and then I pretty much got flopped. So, I think he got a couple 0 to deaths off a chain grab, and he really good follow-up, so I think I tunnel visioned. and I just kept getting hit, and then he kept capitalizing really hard.
Every elaborate John starts with, I 3-stocked him game 1, and then ...
Well, I'm not really... Well, I'm not saying like it's like a controller John or anything. I'm saying like he capitalized.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't really know if that's a John.
Let's talk about some of the matches.
Well, let's see.
Yo, winner semis 2 out of 3 is not cool. It's just not a sufficient amount of games.
Yeah, so my thought on that is they probably had like really strict time constraints because of the Sunday stream schedule. So at that point, like 2 out of 3 versus 3 out of 5 might actually make a difference. Evo had the same thing, I think. That's why Hungry Box versus Wobbles was so janky.
Yeah. It seems like the fighting game community likes that.
Mm-hmm. I didn't think Hungry Box versus Wobbles was janky, but I just thought that Juan blew it out of proportion, and it was perceived as janky.
Yeah, well, I think if I was there, I would have...
Go ahead. I know you're talking.
Yeah. What was I going to say? If I was there, I'd have a better idea, but I don't know if Hungry Box and Wobbles clearly did not know. Both of them did not know that it was best of 3. So I feel really bad about that. Especially for Hungry Box because he lost, but also for both of them, no matter who lost, that would have sucked a lot. Because you have different mindsets going into a best of 3 versus best of 5.
I think and I think the crowd was into that match. I wouldn't from our perspective, it's a floaty versus floaty, but the FGC community really was loving that match or that set between Hungry Box and Wobbles.
Dude, FGC just loves wobbling. I don't get it.
They love their
infinites. They love wobbling.
They love their infinites, man. Haven't you seen Apology Man, NorCal's finest?
I've heard
Anyway, so we had. I didn't think it was a bad circumstance. We had. Keep going. We had 6 fast bowlers and 2 sheiks. I don't see anywhere in that point where it would be campy at all. I thought it was going to be fast from the get go. If you had 6 floaties and a Stacy or something, then it's going to take a. SCR.
Okay.
But Zach, you were there at the tournament. What do you think of how it ran? Zach, are you there?
You definitely did not need a 3rd day to complete that tournament. We definitely could have done it in 2 days. Because on Friday I only played 3 sets and I was in top 16. So, and it took 15 minutes at max. So, most of the time we were just killing time. I don't know. It could have been more organized. We had just as many setups as any other game, which was whatever. It was nice, but it still was only 10 setups. But considering the amount of people that were there, it just felt like a really extended.
Yeah, which makes me really happy that Sheridan negotiated Saturday and Sunday only for NorCal regionals. I think that's going to make a huge difference in turnout and overall player satisfaction at the tournament.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Yeah. I think that's going to help a lot.
Yeah, 76.
And I think we can move on to. Go ahead.
Yes, there are only 76 entrants for Melee. That's. It's kind of funny that we're saying only 76 entrants in the year 2014, but I think a lot of people expected easily over 100. And are we all kind of in agreement that Friday is probably the reason why there were only 76? This was a Friday during the school year where people have shit to worry about, plus Saturday, plus Sunday, plus bracket pools, plus a $45 entry. I think that all kind of added up to a lower than expected turnout.
I think cost was a big factor because I've been scouring Reddit and GameFAQs and other message boards to see like why it happened, and a lot of people are saying like I'm willing to go to an SSS because it's perceived to be like a casual thing to go to a tournament. And so if you look at an SSS, and I think Zach can testify, there's a lot of new players. Like a lot of players I don't even know. Like they're new to the game. They only have to pay $10 to go play 8 matches of pools and have fun. Like SCR, the newbie perception is like this is like the serious one for like the really hardcore players, and it costs $45. So it's like it didn't really seem like it catered to them or like they were the market demographic, and that's how they perceived it.
Right. And like I think the Arcadians like further proved that point. That's something I didn't realize till recently until like SoCal did the Arcadian and then NorCal did an Arcadian, and like the turnouts were ridiculous. They were 150 plus for both. So like people aren't stupid. They see how a tournament's marketed, and they look at the pricing structure. You know, the like what value they're going to get from like the cost to playing time ratio, I guess, if you will. And like people usually make their decisions based on that. I guess I kind of took it for granted that 2014 equals big turnout, but SCR I think is a good reminder that that's not always the case if you don't have the right tournament structure.
Right.
Yeah. Which is a shame because we were again in front of the eyes of the FGC, so in a way we kind of like.
Okay, but yeah, that's true. So, but like, is the FGC really going to know that? Oh, we only got 70 entrants for Melee. It should have been like 100 plus. So that sucks. Or are they going to remember the top 8? I think they're just going to remember the top 8, which is like that's pretty important. I think it was a really good showcase of Melee.
Yeah, I would agree. And also like, if you guys remember, I don't know if you guys read Mike Watson's post. Like Smash has contributed to the reason why, like our Super Arcade, the venue for SSS, is still alive. I mean, Smash contributes much to that. Like with Watson, like I don't think they could function without a lot of the money they generate from the 4 tournaments they run every week for Smash. So we've garnered the respect. I think Alex Valle gives us a lot of props. Level Up Live has warmed up to us, the streamers. So I think we're in good perception. And even just talking to the big players in the FGC, like Justin Wong, Noel Brown, like they have a sense of respect. They don't quite fully understand the game, but they respect it. And I think that's what matters the most. Should we move on to Shuffle? Or should we talk
Zach,
about the status?
Zach, you want to talk about the West Balls sets at all?
Sure, yeah. I mean, okay, I lost to Johnny in winners 2-1. We were kind of cold because, like, no one really did any hand warmers, and everyone, like, once you got on the stage, everyone was feeling the nerves a little bit, and then I won the losers, spanked Axe, shout out to Axe, and then beat Johnny
your record
again.
against Axe is really, really good. I think you're the best Fox versus Axe. Like 4-2 or something like that.
Because Axe Pikachu is just Dr. Mario, but you can up throw up air him at 80%. But it's the same exact character, weight wise. But so then West Balls. I had a feeling I was gonna take the first set because I was just really warm now, and I knew he hadn't been playing at all. I made some pretty crucial errors. And I dropped a couple games where I don't think I should have dropped the games, but he told me after the second set, like, he realized that I was figuring him out, so he just did more double shines and faster and harder.
Wow.
That's badass.
I think I lost the attrition war really because I just got sloppier, I guess, towards the end of the set, and he just capitalized on it.
Yeah.
I don't know, that was about it.
It seemed like, from my perception, that match on Dreamland, I think it was in the middle of the second set, you kind of lost patience, and you're overextending a lot. So was that part of the sloppiness you were talking about, or what made you just, like, kind of rush so much at that point? I think it was, like, game 3.
I think it was game 4, the last game.
Yeah.
I think the thought of, I was like, oh man, I can actually win this, came into my mind instead of like focusing on the game. And then I started to chase him a little bit, and it just like he got that one shine, got that 60%, and closed it out. But instead of just like what I should have done is just like focus on the game, and I only needed like a forward, so any attack I could have taken that game, but it's too sloppy.
I see. Yeah, I think you're playing well, and there was a stretch where you got like 3 shine out shields in a row, and you're just stuffing him and like just like running all over him. I was like, damn, like I think that's like the moment where like, okay,
yeah,
dude,
it was like
that,
10 shine out of shields in a row.
Like,
yeah.
So you got to do against Falcon.
And I was like,
got to shine in a shield.
Yeah. And so that's at the point where I was like, okay, Zach is playing at like the top like 5% of what he's capable of for the most part. Would you agree with that or no?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I don't know. It's tough to say. I don't know how well I was playing. I haven't actually watched the videos yet, so I have to rewatch them soon.
I also have another question.
I was playing pretty well though.
So in winners, you lost 2-1 to Zach. Or not Zach. You lost 2-1 to STJ. So like, what kind of transition in your mind when you went to losers and you played them, and then the results were different?
I was instantly so disappointed because SoCal versus SoCal was in winners finals, but I wasn't. I knew that I could have beaten him, but I just knew that there had to be like no fucking around in losers, and that I could come back. So I don't know.
I see. So you just tightened up your game, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm guessing there was probably a little bit of a letdown by SJ too, because he played his heart out versus West Balls. I think we all saw that. We all saw the Raptor boost off stage. I know Zach saw it. You jumped up like the camera captured it perfectly. I love the cameras at SCR. They captured the crowd really well.
Oh yeah, it was so cool too because there's like a cameraman right behind the TV that we were playing at, so he would just like he'd just be looking at us and then go into the crowd. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that
I think
I would have had an easier time.
Yeah.
I think there was like.
It's the legend of Falcon.
It
can only be
I was
at
kind of
Super Saiyan level for so long.
Yeah. I think it would have been easier to take 2 sets from Johnny than it would have been from West Balls. Well, just because, like, you know, West Balls, he lives off that, like, adrenaline rush, you know? And Falcon's a lot easier than Falco, so. But,
alright.
We have another question on STR, and this kind of expands. So, Robin, like, you're not from the West Coast, so, like, after, like, just kind of hearing about results, like, who comes at to the top of your mind when somebody asks you, oh, who do you think the best player on West Coast is right now?
Dude, I don't know. I've been saying this for a while, or I've been thinking it for a while. Like, so Mango's kind of the, you know, he's always kind of been the number one since, you know, it's been a long time, right? But number 2, like, you could make arguments for like any number of players over the years. Like, I think it might have been Axe at one point. It might have been like Shroomed at one point. Like it's tough to really pinpoint that. Like, I really don't know if you did a West Coast rankings, if that's even like a thing. It'd be super, super close at the top. Like, I don't know if anyone's following the NBA right now, the West Coast, like the NBA West. There's like 2 games separating the number 2 seed and the number like 7 seed. I think that's the same thing, exact same thing for like West Coast Melee.
Yeah, and I think
that
analogy works well. That analogy works well because just like the NBA, in the Smash community, the West Coast is a lot stronger.
Damn. Okay. Wait a minute. That would only work, though. That is actually not too terrible of an analogy, because the NBA's got like 2 teams in the East. There's 2 teams, and everyone else isn't a team. But like in Melee, there's 3 teams in the East. There's M2K, Hungrybox, and PP. And no, hacks is definitely okay. No, that doesn't work. I changed my mind. That doesn't work.
Okay, fine.
It only works for West Coast.
So
yeah.
Well, West Balls has won like 4 tournaments in a row. Like and he's won a NorCal tournament. So like, at what point do you have to start reevaluating this assessment and say West Balls is better? Because West Balls has beaten QPU, he's beaten Shroomed, he's beaten Zach, he's beaten all SoCal, he's beaten Axe at KOC the last time they played. So at what point do we say, like, wow, West Balls
That's
is
true,
the
dude.
best?
He's probably going to be number 1 on the SoCal power rankings in the next update. Yeah. I mean, you can't ignore that. 3 straight SSS victories, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of a Facebook
and he won the
question
NorCal
someone
tournament.
asked, like, how far... Yeah, he won... Oh, yeah, he won the NorCal tournament, too. Shit. You might have to put him up there.
What's
I don't know.
in all this?
To the... What?
Yeah, I
You know
think
what's
West
disappointing?
Balls definitely has the
Kage's-
best results.
Yeah, he does.
But
Kage is sitting in his chair and being like, Kage is just sitting and just saying, ha ha ha, like I could beat that West Balls. West Coast sucks. That's probably what he's saying in his chair.
Is Kage vs. West Balls at
Yeah,
Apex
so-
recorded? I need to watch... I need to watch that.
It is recorded.
Yes, Eclipsing
Kage.
Binary, the man. Again, he comes through every single time. Eclipsing Binary. Yeah, I'm gonna put this on the watch later list on YouTube, and every time I see West Balls dominating S2J from now on, I'm gonna go over to the Kage tab and watch Kage vs. West Balls, make myself feel better. Is there anything else about SCR? Should we move on?
No, let's move on. Shuffle 5,
Shuffle
so
5.
This is your tournament.
Yeah. My tournament, it wasn't my tournament. It was in Columbus, Ohio. That is the exact opposite of a Michigan tournament. But, yeah, Shuffle 5 was the MLG Melee Grassroots event for the Midwest. I guess MLG chose it, which is kind of random. But it ended up being, pretty decent tournament. Like, it was super ambitious. 3 games, 6 events. And there were obviously tons of problems with, like, getting people to play their matches and shit like that. But, like, overall, it could have gone a lot worse. So I'll say it was like a 6 out of 10 tournament. It was decent. I think the bigger picture, though, is the MLG.TV stream results. So we go into this tournament talking about, like, okay, Twitch is still king. MLG.TV kind of sucks. But if they can prove that that's a legit streaming platform by the time MLG Anaheim rolls around, then maybe TOs are going to be more willing to go with the MLG qualifier thing. And that proved to be definitely not the case. I think Gimmer got like 1,500 max viewers, which is like really bad. Like KOC3 got 17,000 viewers on Twitch last December. And for like MLG to come in and only get 1,500 on their streaming platform is like, I don't know how else to put it. That's like really, really bad. So I don't know if that's going to affect like other people's decisions on whether or not to go with the MLG qualifier status in the future. But it's just another thing to keep in mind, I guess.
Yeah, from Gimmer's perspective, like, what's his incentive to doing this? I mean, if he's only getting 1,500,
like networking with
change.
I think it's networking with MLG. Maybe, making a couple connections for the future, stuff like that. Did any of you watch the MLG.TV stream? Was it as annoying as I heard it was, like with the Twitter functionality and shit like that?
I thought it was pretty annoying. I didn't even sign into my Twitter because I didn't want to like tweet all my trolling comments. So I don't know. I thought
for me, I was craving Pizza Hut after because they just kept showing Pizza Hut commercials like every day, couple minutes.
I heard. That's what everyone said. I was like, why? And it was like, oh, it's just Pizza Hut ads all over the place. Yeah, I don't know what else there is to discuss about that. Like we kind of beat it to death on our last show. I don't want to make it sound like we're trashing the the MLG brand or anything. It's just like the fact is MLG.TV is not the best thing for the Smash community right now. So there's going to be a continuing debate on like whether TOs go with Twitch, like non-MLG qualifier, or they just like go with the MLG.TV exclusive streaming, which is a lot more limited.
If they could coordinate it with Facebook, that would be amazing. And that might actually get me to Switch. But until then, I'm switching to Twitch.
Yeah.
Wait, so the MLG TV stream is connected to your Twitter? Is that how it works?
I think
Well,
so,
that's how it works
yeah.
for that. Yeah.
That's pretty ridiculous.
So, like, if you post a chat message, I think it automatically tweets that out on your account.
Like with hashtag MLGTV or something like that?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I noticed that during the Smash documentary marathon that they did in New York, like, in December. I like, started trolling in the chat, and then all of a sudden, like, on my Twitter, I had, like, 5 new messages. I was like, oh, shit, I can't do this. I signed out. Yeah. So, like, besides that, that's kind of the bigger picture issue, I think. But M2K vs. Hungrybox Part 3 happened at this tournament.
That was pretty hype.
Which was really I think it was pretty exciting, like, as an in-person attendee at least. It was, like, I still am at the point where I don't know who's going to win. So, like, I say Part 1, M2K Hungrybox, was their 2 meetings at Big House, which was, like, one of the biggest upsets in, recent months. And then Part 2, I think they played 2 sets at ROM last November, too. And M2K won all 4 sets that they played. So, like, going into this, I had no idea. I was like, a third win by M2K is going to, like, solidify that he's gotten over this mental hump, like, finally. Which he never does, right? Like, every time someone starts beating M2K, he just, like, he folds against them for the rest of time.
Not Mango anymore. He's gone over the Mango hump.
I guess, yeah. Maybe except Mango. And now, like, he's proven that he can do it versus Hungrybox, too. So, I don't know, dude. Do you think Hungrybox is ever going to turn this tide again back in his favor?
He will,
What do you guys
in my
think?
opinion. I think
he
that
just
he'll
needs
beat
the
him
right
the next time that
person.
they play.
Ooh.
I can see him taking more. I mean, he took a set this time, right? So it wasn't a 2-0 in set count. It was. I mean, Hungrybox brought it back.
Yeah. 3-2, I believe.
You kind of tell the first set Mewtwo King wasn't like totally on his game, and then the second he like switched controllers, and then it seemed like he was getting what he needed to get more often.
The classic M2K controller switch.
Yeah. I think momentum is shifting. I mean, it's equalizing. I always like to look at game count and margins to see how telling a 3-0 or a 3-2 was. And it seems like Hungrybox is discovering new technology. If you watch him play, he's dramatically different from 2010 Hungrybox. And I don't think enough people give him credit, Hungrybox, based on how he's been playing. Like, he's been playing a lot more freestyle, and he's a lot more aggressive and creative with his combos. It's almost like King-esque. But I don't think people give Hungrybox that credit because it's Hungrybox, and he's had a reputation of being this backdoor spammer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone resonates with that.
It's definitely been a while since I heard anyone like say Hungrybox the back air spammer. Like it's mostly just been Hungrybox the good spacer and like smart patient player in 2013, 2014. That's at least that's my impression. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know, Zach and Kevin, you played him at NCR last year.
Yeah, that was a while ago though. But yeah, I did play him, and he 3-0'd me. But it was still really close. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a super close set. You got a shield. You got your shield break in. That was you won the hearts of the viewers.
Oh yeah,
But,
I broke his shield. Yeah.
But
So,
yeah,
there's another.
I don't think he's the back air spammer like image anymore. That's definitely way behind him in my opinion. Go ahead, Daniel.
So, I mean, there's Mewtwo King and Hungrybox, and one thing we've kind of joked around on the East Coast is that when you look at the top three, and then you kind of go down to fourth and fifth, there's kind of a skill drop-off if you look at other regionals. But so, I want to talk about the Moon, because he's been consistently getting third or fourth at these regionals. So, like, is he stepping up? Because if we look at the last three nationals, he hasn't performed that well. I think he got 25th at Apex, not bad. He didn't make it out of pools at Evo, and I think he got like 65th at Apex. So is he for real? Or is he just like a regional specialist, like how Dwan is a national specialist?
I think at this point he's like, he's maybe a step above everyone else on a regional level, but I don't think he's close to the point where he can be taking down, the top 10 level players, like your Mangos, M2Ks, Hacks, like level players. I don't know if he's going to take down anyone like that anytime soon. But I mean, like if you look at his runs at ROM and at Shuffle, he beats like everyone else, and then he gets to that point. So who did he beat at ROM? He beats Chillin' Dude and like Cactuar or some. I know it was another Spacey. And then at Shuffle, he beat Duck.
He beat Nintendo.
Lost to M2K.
Nintendo.
He beat Nintendo. Yep. So I mean, he's getting these wins over players who are like in the MIOM top 50, but like top 20, I don't like. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he has a win over somebody in the top 20 as of right now.
I see.
Yeah. So
I'm kind of wondering. What this tournament showed me is that the Moon is a little bit more capable of playing non-Spacies. I felt like the Moon played at ROM. Whenever he placed well, I was like, oh gosh, he had a Spacey bracket, which is fair to him because Spacies are a majority of the thing, so that requires talent. But like, I was kind of like wondering, well, what if this guy plays this player or plays MacD? Like, what's going to happen? What were you saying?
The Nintendo set was really impressive to me, just because. Nintendo claims he hasn't lost to a Marth in like 3 or 4 years, and the Moon said he has 0 ICs experience. So like going into that's just like a battle of like digging deep and out good playering Nintendo, basically.
Right.
Yeah,
So I don't know. That's
destroyed him pretty hard.
Yeah, it's 3-1, right? So yeah. Moon's pretty good.
All right.
Where would you place him? Tentative MIOM March SSBM rank in the top 50, top 40.
I would say he's like probably on that cusp. I mean, if you really look at a top 40, it's actually really, really difficult to cut people out. Like, if I just told you to name 40 players, and if you really sat down and did it, you'll end up with 60 players.
Yeah,
fit that.
I think he's definitely a top 40 player, possibly a top 30 player. When I played him at Apex, he was really solid, but he was kind of missing those few crucial elements that make you a great player,
Yeah. Yep. And I think he's methodical, and he plays at a slower pace, but I think his style, like, unless he decides to play, unless he coordinates to play a little bit quicker, like, it doesn't matter if he gets reads, if the Fox is going to just throw another attack at you anyway. Like, so I think there's, like, an upper limit unless he actively chooses to speed up his game somewhat. That's my opinion.
I think to be to be, like, a top 30 player, truly, he's got to eliminate those losses, like, against O'Reilly and Thumbs at EVO. Like, I know it was, like, 8 months ago, but he can't be losing to those people if he's a top 30 player,
Well, he lost to a random Sheik and Jigglypuff at a New England local, like in November.
Okay,
so it happens.
But like the thing I like about the Moon is his work ethic. He like from what I've seen, like just being around him at a couple tournaments, he's just always talking about the game and like theory crafting, and like I think that's a really good sign.
Yeah. I want him to do well.
Yep.
Like, it's not like me being a hater. I'm like tempering it with realistic expectations because some people were saying like he's like top 15 since last year, and I was like, no, man. But I think, I love his attitude, and he's one of the players that I want to see do well in 2014.
Cool. It's time to
Speaking of top 30 players, Ken is definitely on the come up as well. He started out being kind of shaky, but now he's really, really good, I think.
Okay. Like when like earlier in the year when Crimson Blur was hyping up Ken, like before KOC, like Arian literally told me Ken is a top 5 SoCal player right now. I was like, you are full of shit. But then he starts beating people. Like he beat MacD at this latest SSS. He beat Fly at KOC. I think he has a couple other decent wins that I can't think of off the top of my head. But like, I think Ken's definitely like, I think he's a top 50 player on the MIOM rankings.
Me too.
Yeah, he beat Homemade Waffles, and he also gave Duan a run for his money.
Okay, but at SCR, McCain did get the salty run back, and he beat Ken.
Oh, okay.
They played?
Got it.
Yeah, I believe they did play. I think I read on Challenge that they played.
No, they didn't, because those brackets were rotated, so they didn't actually play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the weird thing with the challenge bracket pools. It's like when the next round of pools come up, you have to input like a placeholder result beforehand to get the results to like show up accurately, the matchups. So some of the results didn't actually happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys followed that at all, but I definitely know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they didn't play. Just to give a heads up.
Yep.
So
Crimson
yeah,
Blur.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Crimson Blur did it really smart. He put a 0 and a -1 next to any matchup that didn't actually happen, and then any matchup that did happen, it was like a 2-0 or 3-0. But like if it didn't happen, it was just for bracket pool purposes. It was a 0 and -1 on the challenge. All right, carry on.
Alrighty. Are we calling in our favorite MDZ.Matt.Zeb?
I think it's time.
All right, wait.
MDZ Matt.Zeb.
Before we call in Mr. MDZ, I'm actually gonna have to head out. So it's been fun stream. But yeah.
All right, dude.
I'll catch you guys another time.
Us, Kevin.
Yeah, no problem.
Bye, Kevin.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Later, Kevin.
Later stream.
So, who has Matt.Zeb been? He's been unknown. He's been Lesson. Who else has he been?
He's beaten unknown twice, I think.
Oh damn.
Add people to this call. Matt. Oh, John's already on it. All right.
Oh, John's on top of it.
Sup, Matt? Can't hear you. If
We're
you're
gonna
talking.
walk all over you.
Can't tell.
We're walking all over you, Matt.
Can't see your camera either.
I don't think I can do a camera in a group chat. Like pay for that extra.
Oh, I hear rumbling.
I hear something rumbling in my tumbling.
I hear Matt complaining about how he can't do camera.
Yeah.
Dot.
I have my webcam, but don't Skype for that.
I still can't hear Matt. FYI. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you fine. Hold on.
But we can't hear you.
Your mic volume's super low.
Low as in your skill level. I'm just kidding.
Damn.
I'm messing. You're good.
Guys hear me?
It's
This
better.
working?
It's better. Yes.
Better?
I love the sombrero.
Fantastic.
Okay.
All right, we hear you.
Yeah. Sombrero. That was
Nice.
that was at Evo. One of the Mexican players was walking around, had the sombrero on, and so we're all drinking and everything, and I saw it, and I was just like, oh, I have to have that. So I grabbed a picture with it.
Sick. I'm loving it. I love it, by the way. It expresses you pretty well.
Speaking of like Smash
what
photos,
do you have?
who's the person who owns that that cat that everyone keeps taking photos of? Like, what is so legendary about this cat? Okay, I don't understand what the deal is with what. Like, it's like this cat that people like hold and take pictures with. It's not an actual cat. It's like
it's Tuna.
You know, yeah, that's like something.
Is it even a cat? I don't even know.
I don't know what it is. It's a plushie. I have no idea what it is.
I've yet to solve the mystery of what makes that cat amazingly awesome to take photos with, but every Smash Bros. I have
photos under my belt with that cat, and I'm damn happy about it.
Yeah.
It's a public figure.
Yeah, a public figure.
Actually, like, you can like it on Facebook. You can like its page on Facebook.
Dude, like 11% of dog owners have made a Facebook page for their dog. I read that stat somewhere.
Oh,
totally believe it.
That sounds really high.
Totally believe
it.
it.
I think that's way too high. I think that's definitely way too high. I would go with that.
Totally believe it. Pet owners, especially dog owners, you can't underestimate their affection for the dogs. Anyway, we got Met.Zeb on. Melee on me. Welcome. You want to talk about the Melee games? That's like this really awesome project, like circuit that's been going on. But I kind of want to let you take over the elevator pitch. And if people don't know what this is like so fucking awesome. I can't even. Can't overstate how awesome this is.
All right. Well, general
what
idea
you're doing in New England with the
Melee games is that we have assembled. Thank you. So we have 10 colleges participating in a single elimination bracket. It started on February 11th, and we had announced signups for it about, I think, 3 weeks beforehand, and I closed signups on February 9th. So schools had, 3 weeks to get people together. I initially just wanted to do an 8-school bracket. Thanks, Scar. Telling me to get off the show. I wanted to do an 8-school bracket, and the response was actually way more than that. I didn't expect to get to 10 schools, like, at all. I mean, I was like kind of thinking before I did it, all right, so who could we potentially have? I came up with like 6 schools, and that I knew had like seen everything, like from the New England Melee group that we have, and we ended up getting 10 schools to sign up. The first school to sign up, like completely to my surprise, we only wanted not we only wanted, but we only anticipated Boston, like local schools around Boston to sign up, and like maybe UMass Amherst because they're like Western Mass, but I know they have a scene. But UConn, University of Connecticut, was the first school to qualify, and to qualify, you had to have 5 people fill out the form I made on Google, and so UConn was literally the first school to do it. I was like, that blew me away. That wasn't even like close. Like UConn wasn't even on my radar at all, and they just ended up being the first school to qualify, and it just got so hype. Like we had, I think we already had like 6 schools qualified within the first 24 hours. And so, I mean, like, within about a week, we already had, like, the bracket. We had, like, 10 schools. I wasn't totally sure that I was going to include the other 2 initially, like the 9th and 10th school, but I figured, screw it, and I just made an extra round that, they would have to fight for, and if they won it, they made it into,
Like a play-in round.
Yeah, basically. Kind of. Yeah, I kind of consider just, like, round 0, more or less.
Right.
Yeah, so we've been doing it single elimination bracket, and it's just been progressing weekly. So we did, last week was our first one that we only had 1 school play on. We actually had, on the 11th, we had like 2 schools play, and then we missed the 18th, I think, because of like snow or whatever, and then we had to do it again on the 25th, where I had to have 3 schools play. That was a headache and a half. I literally had 3 schools playing at the same time, and so 3 TVs going. That was crazy. It took us about like maybe an hour and a half to finish it because I had to stagger it a little bit. And so we didn't start the bracket until like 6
school
sorry,
matchups.
Yeah, 3 school matchups. So 6 schools playing at the.
Holy shit! Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was pretty crazy. Actually, nothing though has compared to the hype that was UMass Boston and UMass Amherst 2 days ago. They had a 10-on-10 crew battle, 40 stocks. Took about an hour and 15 minutes. That was insane, like absolutely crazy. Actually, if I could find the link, I would be happy to link it into the chat for anybody who's interested in watching it later on. actually just post that in there now for you guys because that was absolutely nuts. Like we got the crowd audio and everything for that, so definitely check that out. It's a 10-on-10 crew battle. I'm sure you won't recognize a single name in it, which is to me the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Like out of
I noticed
all the players that have signed, yeah, man, all the players that have signed up, there's like only one player that's probably known by like anyone at all, and that's YCZ6, who goes to MIT. He's also the captain of MIT. And on that note, each school has a captain assigned. So the captain kind of is responsible for representing the crew in front of all the other players. A couple of them have sat down with me for interviews that I'll be releasing at a later date. And they kind of round up their players, rally them, and decide the lineups for the crew battles. The lineups have to be decided before the actual matches. The players are character locked. It's a double blind, so each school has to pick their own starter, like who goes first. So It's completely character. And interestingly enough, that night where we had 6 schools playing, each one started off with at least one player being Marth.
A lot of Marths really in New England, I guess.
Yeah, we have, out of the 137 people signed up for the Melee games, we have 25 Marth mains.
Damn. So
yeah,
I was reading a post in a local Facebook group recently. Somebody pointed out, I think in the Ohio Facebook group, that all the new players are like picking up Marth and Sheik, and they're like kind of staying away from Spacies. Do you think that that effect has kind of been up? Has that applied to New England too?
Well, I have a little table that tells me all the mains from each school,
like a character data.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Tapokins level of organization.
Yeah, dude.
Is it a spreadsheet?
I can tell you. Yeah, it's on it's on a Google Doc.
I love Excel.
So we have 25 Marth mains. We have 21 Falco mains. We have 21 Peach mains. Each school has a Peach main. Interesting. At least each school has at least one Peach main. Interestingly enough, I don't think there's another character that is on each school. Not even Fox. Marth came close, but he's actually not on Boston College's crew. And then Sheik is at 18. So Sheik is like 4th. And Fox is at 10. There's only 10 Fox mains.
Damn.
Yeah, after Sheik with 18, it drops down to 10 with Falcon and Fox at 10. And like after that, it drops down to 5, where that's Dr. Mario for whatever reason.
So 20XX has not taken over New England yet. If you want to escape the 20XX plague, go to New England. They got the Marts and the Peaches.
Yep.
Are they supposed to be like the most progressive area too?
What was that?
Maybe aren't they supposed to be like the most progressive area too, politically speaking? Like, are they on some 21XX meta stuff that we're not aware of?
We might be. I mean, we see some pretty intense stuff. We saw it in the Boston University and Northeastern University crew battle, where they both sent in 8 players, so 32 stocks. There was an 8-minute and like 15-second Peach versus Puff match because it was 4-on-4, 4 stocks, 4 stocks.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, like when you're going in, you can counterpick, and the other guy can't change his character because he's character locked. So the person who came in on that one, that was a pick from him to kind of draw it out a little bit. That was like the closest crew battle too. They actually left. Northeastern won that one by 1 stock, but that was the closest one so far. If anybody's interested in watching, definitely listen in Amherst. That's the hypest.
To give people an idea, how close are all these schools? Like geographically?
Yeah. Oh, geographically. Okay, so 7 out of the 10 schools are Boston local schools. You have.
What does that mean? Like miles?
Boston. Okay. Probably within, I guess, within a 10-mile radius.
Okay. So ridiculous, dude. I'm so jealous of that.
Yeah. Like we have Boston College.
Number one.
Boston. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead. The Midwest is just so spacious. The number one thing the Midwest gets jealous about, besides skill levels in other regions, is the population density. And how close other regions are to us, because we have to drive. It's 4-hour lines, and then a region in Midwest. 4 hours region, 4 more hours another region. So frustrating. But for this Boston area, I remember just reading a stat all the way back when I was when I was visiting colleges.
Like Boston, when I visited Boston, I visited like 10 colleges in like in no time. It was crazy. So I figured this could be like a super good candidate as a region for something like the Melee Games, where you have like a bunch of colleges competing in a circuit.
Yeah, and how it came about actually is we have a weekly event called Game Over, and as of late it's been really big. We've had, I won't get into the numbers of that now, but we started this weekly event called Game Over in September. The first event was September 24th, and we had like 17 people come out. We were in the basement of some bar. I mean, it was pretty cool. We had like 5 setups, and on like really, really short notice. Like one of our players found me a Facebook event. He was like, "Is anyone going to this?" And we just decided. I contacted the person who organized the event, because it's like a board game and like random other game night, And I said, "Hey, do you mind if we brought Super Smash Bros. Melee here? We can, definitely have some players come out and get some more people, more attention, more money to the bar, so they'll be happier with the event itself." And so I ran a tournament on the second week. The first week was sort of a trial, and on the second week I ran a tournament. And over the next few weeks, I noticed that a lot of people were like totally new and were from the schools around the area. I started to take down players' names, colleges, as I took registration, and actually tagging them with their school as like.
That's really
sponsor.
smart. That is so smart. I saw that. That is awesome. Like the school prefix before their gamer tag.
Yeah, it's really cool, and like I love seeing in the results, like when it's really diversified. Like if I see like 13th and 17th place are like 8 different schools, I love it. I absolutely love to see that. And so far only one person aside from YCZ has broken into the top 8 from any of the schools, and that was like another MIT player, X-Pilot. But so we started doing that, and I started taking down the names, and it just grew and grew and grew from there. And so the idea for the Melee game started formulating in my head, and I started talking it over with a few other people. And unfortunately, Game Over went on like a hiatus at the end of November. But November was a really strong month for us. We had the first event in November. It's actually on my birthday. We had 41 people who came out. And then we had 2 30-plus people on the following 2 weeks. And then the last one in November was 40 people. And the Moon came out of that one, and he got 7th. Tafo, he did not lose to Random, actually. He lost to Andy, who's a pup mate. He lost to Andy. He's a pup mate. He trained under Dog for about 2 years. And he also lost to Neuro, who's a Sheik main who's been playing in New England since 2006. And he's really solid.
School, yeah.
He's top 5, top 7, or top 8.
I somehow know who Andy is. I think he beat Hugs at Apex 2012.
Yeah, he beat Hugs at Apex 2012, and then he didn't make it out of pools like an idiot.
3-way tie. No, that's not Andy's fault. That's Apex's fault. 3-way ties, man. Daniel knows about 3-way ties at Apex.
I know something. I had a quick question. Hey, so with the demographic, so not just location, but skill level of these players, are these like just random college people who are like, oh, I played Melee with my high school friends. Oh, there's a cool tournament. Let's go out there. And they're like new? Like, so like, what are the skill levels or like,
not
how
all of
new
them
are they?
that, but some are definitely. Well, I'm glad you asked. There was a question that I included on the sign-up form, and that was, how long have you been playing competitively? I got a couple didn't answer the question, and a couple gave me like just a number, and I don't know what that means, so I kind of discarded it. But I have 80 people who have been playing that started competitively within the last year, and 69 or 70 of them have started within the last 8 months.
Wow,
amazing.
Yeah, so a lot of them are really new, but because we have so many tournaments happening in the Boston area right now, they're advancing really quickly. Like the captain of Tufts, he said he'd been playing. Well, he actually is one of the older players, I guess, like in terms of playing player length. But he had only been playing solo, and his tag's Bly, and he'd only been playing solo, and just for like the last 4 years. He said he just did like Fox, Texaco, and whatever. But he eventually, yeah, and once he came out to these Game Over events, he's gotten so much better so quickly. There's a player on the UMass Amherst team, which his tag is Red Rice, and UMass Amherst is Western Mass. They play with like Dark and Roman, and so there's like they get their mentorship from them, I guess. And this guy's been playing for about a month and a half, and he is like, oh my god, he's gonna become like one of the best players in like at least Massachusetts. I'm calling that. Like already, you can tell. I mean, so you're seeing like there's a lot of potential in the new players that are coming up, and I'm absolutely loving seeing that. And we have two tournaments, at least 2 tournaments on weekdays now in New England. Well, and specifically around Boston. We have the Game Over events on Tuesday night that I host, and we have the events called Smashing Grounds on Thursday nights, which are PM and Melee, hosted by another player, Niall. His tag is the NZA, so you guys might know him from PM. And those have been doing pretty well. They've gotten like 30 people. Game Over has been consistently pulling like at least 50 plus since we restarted.
On a Tuesday, dude.
Yeah, dude, our lowest number since we restarted, I have to say 50 plus because our lowest number is 55. Every other event since we restarted on like whatever January 28th or something has been over 60, and we've had one that was 72 entrants. And you guys will see some footage from that actually after we're done with this segment. There's a really hype video that Sam Ox made. He came out on February 11th, which was the day that we started the Melee games, and he came out filming. And oh my god, it's such a good video. I can't wait for you guys to see it. But that was the night we had 72 people.
What's the best tag ever?
Oh, the best tag ever? That like that we've had, you mean?
Yeah, that really long one.
Well, there's 2 really good tags. One is Big Vegeta Blunts. Like, that is just hands down. Big Vegeta Blunts. It's so good. The next one, and I'm going to try to do this off memory here, so bear with me. It's XXX Elite Sniper Haxor XXX69 Bob Marley 420 No Scope. I did your mom last night. Yeah. there was actually there's a video out there on YouTube where I got about like 6 other players to crowd around me when I called it out, when I called out his tag, and they joined me in yelling it. Let's see if I can post it to the chat now, because that was pretty godlike.
That sounds like a tag that was created by PGH Carroll. That sounds like a tag from his bag of like Carroll keeps a list of tags that he thinks are funny. If somebody new comes to a tournament, he just says, "Yo, use one of these," and they're also troll.
But since then, I've made him enter as XXX Lead Sniper Haxor, and sometimes if I'm being lazy, I'll just type in his real name.
Yeah.
The other one's Dad. Dad's a great tag because he always walks out on tournaments. It's absolutely hysterical. Like, I've had to DQ him so many times from our weeklies, and so it's like it's just running around and being like, "Does anyone know where Dad is?" It just gets me. So that's those are like the best tags probably right now. But yeah.
So what's like the hardest part of organizing these? Because for me, like, there's so many subregions in these different Facebook groups that if I don't have influence within a Facebook group, like, people don't listen to me. They're just like, he's some outsider. We're not going to go to that tournament. So like, how do you deal with that?
I have influence on all the Facebook groups in New England, so that's kind of how. Yeah, basically.
Every Facebook group has MDZ pipe sponsor before it, like in the Facebook group.
Yeah. Actually, people are making a joke now that it's MDZU for MDZ University, because I hosted before the Melee games. I've been hosting Smash Fest at my house, and I have 4 TVs right now, and so I had like a 25-person Smash Fest, which I invited 3 people from all the schools participating, and 7 schools sent people out, including UConn. MIT didn't even come out, and they're like a train right away, but UConn drove up 2 hours, and on blast MIT. But I hosted this, a double elite bracket, and I entered it myself as Matt.Zev University, and so I actually soloed 2 schools. And so and then I just decided to let them play, and so they could actually get the experience and all. But that's been like a running joke. But no, so what I actually did to get this, over the last few years, we've had the New England Melee group on Facebook, which has just been growing and growing and growing. And for example, of our most recent growth spurt, I guess, in August we had 350 members, something like that, and that's when I hosted the final Mass Championship. Right, we had 350 members, we passed 800 today.
Yeah, I see that now.
At the start of this year, we were just at about 500. So, I mean,
Wow.
we've been growing a ton.
Do you keep that information just like, were you writing it down, or are you using like the events to look at it?
I'm going off memory. I mean, I'm
pro
in, like,
tip to everybody.
Today, so.
Yeah, there's kind of a janky way to look at your Facebook group's growth. If you've been doing events,
Seriously?
like for the entire Facebook group, you can go to the events tab of your Facebook group, and then go to past events. And then, like, depending on how many events that people have made for, like, the entire group, you can see how many people were invited. If they, like, selected invite all members to this event, and you can kind of see how big the group has gotten, like, from time to time. I'm looking at the Michigan one. We were at... Yeah, we were at 284 last summer, and now we're at 470. So I think every region is experiencing this kind of growth. It's pretty ridiculous. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and also if anybody listening is interested in doing something like this, the best way that I find to keep the schools like sort of centralized outside of the New England Melee group is I made Facebook groups for all of the participating schools in the Melee games. So there's like I just kind of did a TMG. Like Harvard group.
Okay. So you like made them Facebook groups, and you kind of like invited people,
and I invited
kind of like got them started.
Yeah, exactly. So I invited all their members, centralized the players, and they're all pretty active right now. 2 of the schools already had their own groups. Like UMass Amherst has like an 80-person group. They actually, what I'm so happy about is that UMass Amherst. As a result of like starting the Melee games and getting more people interested and like kind of legitimizing it a little bit more for them, they have an official Super Smash Brothers club now.
Nice.
Like they petitioned the or not maybe petition, but they like went up to the school administrators and are actually in an official club at UMass Amherst now.
Yeah. I've had an official club at and I've heard a lot of people have had difficulties getting a club going at their school for one reason or another. Like, there's some schools have different politics about it, like with the student organizations. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's something that's like way over my head. I don't know at all how to do that. Probably because I'm like not in a dorming university or something like that. But I'm just really happy to see the scenes like stepping up and putting that sort of thing together. Like there's around Boston, like one of the colleges has fight nights on Fridays now, and they had like maybe 25 people or 30 people on their last Friday one. So that's like right there. That's 3 events in Boston that you can go out to on a weekday and get like competitive experience. And then this month we have 3 tournaments after ROM. We have like I'm doing a Mass Madness on the 15th with actually SS Soft is coming up to that one, which is really cool. He's also going to be on at the Game Over on the 11th too. And then
is he going to get 7th?
I hope so. I mean, like the idea is like that if anyone's like not from our region, they can't get top 5. Except for Mewtwo King, because he just came by on the last one.
Yo. Moose went into New England and got 3rd at one of the Mass Madness events.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. No, Moose is really good, though. I gotta get that. He's super good.
Moose is a filthy animal. Anyway.
Dude, there's so many, so, dude, what do we need to know about this video that we're gonna show in just a second? Is there anything that you want to say beforehand, or should we just roll the tape? Or what?
Well, there's not really much to say about it that's not already conveyed in the video. Just as a heads up.
I watched it already. It's great, yeah.
Yeah, and I just want to tell everybody like that's in the chat right now before we roll the video. If you're in New England, check us out. Would you mind if I like plug some stuff right now? Is that okay?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, you don't mind.
Okay. All right, sweet. All right, so if you're in the New England region and you're interested in playing Melee, meeting up with the players and just getting to be a part of our community, join us on Facebook.com/groups/New England Melee. You'll find all the information about Game Over and the upcoming tournaments there. There's one big one that we would love to see everybody come out to. We had 108 people at the last one, and that was on a Friday night. And this time we have an entire Saturday to do it, and we have like triple the amount of setups and double the amount of space. It's called NSA2 Northeastern Smash Attack 2. So check that out. It's pre-reg only, actually, and I'm going to link both the event page and the pre-reg in the chat right now. The pre-registration is pretty easy to follow. It's tinyurl.com/NSA2-registration. Just much easier to shorten it that way. So definitely check that out, guys. That would be fantastic. And thank you guys for the support and for having me on. Let's roll that video.
Yeah, John, whenever you're ready, we're ready for the video.
A crew of players would pool their stocks together and compete against other crews, 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 and compete against other crews.
Of BC. I think we got this. We're feeling good. We've been playing hard for 2 weeks. I think we got this. And you got Bonk over here.
Yeah.
Pikachu.
I don't really know anyone on their team other than one dude who I know is apparently super good. So knock him out and then we can go through everyone else.
Well, UMass is playing BC, so that's gonna be pretty bad for BC. And then after that, we're playing, I think, UMass Boston, which we're not a favorite, but we can beat them. We have a lot of sleepers. We have Derry. He was pro in 2005, so he's coming back, and we have a sleeper Falco, Butter. Look out for Butter.
My name is Graham. I'm part of the Tufts crew, and we're going against WPI today. They have a few interesting characters. They have a game and watch, and I guess from an objective perspective, he has a disadvantageous matchup against other characters, but it's a matchup that not a lot of people have experience with, so it'll be interesting. It's our first crew battle, but I think we're going to do good.
That was pretty crazy, not gonna lie. Yeah, I had a great time. I was pumped the whole time, pumped for my teammates, pumped for myself. Just nerves going crazy the whole time. Early on, we had a pretty solid lead, and then Bonk Kushi, their Pikachu player, came out of nowhere and just started wrecking people. So things got kind of evened out. Got a little concerned, but our team's strong, practiced a lot, so I thought we could pull through the end, and we made it.
The other school started calling me 10-stock Fox as I reached that point, and we did not expect to win by 15.
It went a little rough. We showed up later than we should have anyways. Everyone's coming in cold, and then we proceeded to get plowed. So, it could have gone better, but, first time for us coming out doing something like this. A lot of players have never been to a tournament before. So, hopefully people at least enjoy themselves. I think they did.
Honestly, I had no idea what to expect considering it's the first time here. You see videos online about these sorts of crew battles and stuff, but you don't see what's going on behind the scenes usually. It's pretty stressful, to be honest. I was kind of shaking for a little bit before I got my ground.
When it's a crew battle, you're repping your school. You know which steps to yell for, and so everyone can sort of go crazy. I love it personally. I love the hype-friendly trash talk stuff that goes on all the time. It's great. I love it.
I had a blast here. It's a shame I can't stay around and play in the singles brackets because one, play more people, get more experience. But I'll be around next time.
I like big butts and I cannot lie. You other brothers can't deny. That when a girl walks in with an itty bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get sprung.
Oh, dude, I forgot about like the last like 15 seconds. Dude, when I saw that, I lost it. Like the last 15 seconds of the video.
Apparently we're back, and there's so much stream lag between what real time and what we're seeing on Twitch that we're still watching it right now. But anyway, like Samox never fails to deliver. Like I keep saying this, can't say it enough, and I thought that was an awesome video. And it really highlights what I like most about it is these crew battles give people, especially like the captains of each school, it gives them like a leadership position that otherwise would be impossible in a Smash community that has like so much disparity in skill level, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's actually really cool. Like I said, the captains have all stepped into their positions really well. You know, a couple of them have sort of. I guess I can't say all of them, but like while the games were going, they did. But like a couple of them, since their school got knocked out, like kind of faded away. Like WPI hasn't really been super active, like noticeably at least. After they got knocked out, oh my god, that poor school. They got 15 stock. that was the worst beat. Tough just like ran over them. But yeah, so
Fox ran over them.
Yeah. Oh, there's a guy, Stickman Tank Guy, is asking what two schools are in Grand Finals. We're not there yet. Grand Finals are going to be live streamed by Video Game Boot Camp at NSA 2 on March 29th. But we still have 2 more rounds to go through. We're in the semis right now. We have MIT and Tufts. MIT and UMass Boston are the 2 favorites, like by far, by the way. So MIT and Tufts versus UMass, and then UMass Boston versus Northeastern University. So there's still those 2 rounds to go in the next 2 weeks. Those are going to happen. Then we're going to have our grand finals at NSA 2. If you guys are interested further, I have all the matches are in a Smashboards post in tournament discussion. I just bumped it, but I also just posted it into the chat. You can see there's 6 matches that have been played so far. Again, definitely check out UMass Amherst versus UMass Boston. That was insane. There hasn't been that level of hype at anything in the last year, 2 years, 3 years in New England. Like nothing that hype in New England, period. So that was really great. There was like a crowd of maybe 30 or 40 people the entire time just screaming and yelling. And you can see that in the video. So I'm going to let you guys go back to doing what you're doing. Thanks again for having me on. I will post.
Thanks for joining us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to actually, for the guys in the chat, I'm going to post the video. It's unlisted, but I'm going to post it for you now. So go ahead and share it around. It's on Samox's YouTube channel. And I don't think he saw my messages yet or hasn't been on Facebook to actually make it listed. So, just for now, spread the video around. And, yeah. Thanks, guys.
Sweet. Thanks for coming on, Matt.
All right, have a good one.
All right.
Alrighty.
That was Matt Dazeb on the Melee Games, an epic intercollegiate Smash circuit in New England. I think he's putting in so much work, and just like people who step up to do this kind of thing, like do a service for the community, I think are like the most valuable part of the Smash scene. So, shout out to Matt.
It's a thankless job. It's a thankless job, so really thank your TOs because they don't make money off of this. It takes a lot of time. They have to organize. They have to plan. There's a lot of work that goes into it that most people don't see.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do
Shall
we got?
Shall we move on to the Facebook questions?
Facebook group questions. I think we answered a couple of these already. Like the
Yes.
West Falls question. I guess that's the only one we answered. Dude, is S2J ever going to learn how to edge guard? Mango, are you still there? I think you would know best. Or Zach. Doesn't matter.
I don't
When
know.
is the school ever going to learn how to edge guard?
Bad.
Okay, Mango's here, but he doesn't have a mic or something. Yeah, dude, what I noticed about Johnny, aka S2J, you know how a lot of times you're edge guarding, and you can do like like even if you miss the edge guard, you can put yourself in a position where you still have like stage control and you don't lose everything. I feel like S2J, when he misses an edge guard, he loses it all. Like the momentum just reverses, and like suddenly he's off stage getting an edge guard or something like that. Is that too like inaccurate to say? What do you think, Zach?
No, I think that's pretty accurate. I think sometimes Johnny just goes too deep, and then he'll miss that, what he was going for, and then Falcon's just put in that bad situation. So yeah, I think you're right. Like Johnny just needs to cool back a little bit and like clean up his edge guards. He probably could have won that set versus West Balls if he got his edge guards.
Yeah.
It's a way to balance S2J because his combo game and his neutral game are so amazing that the gods up there had to balance him by giving him like the shittiest edge guard out of everybody.
Dude, we were talking about like will SJ learn how to edge guard in 2011, like all the way back in 2011, and it's 2014 and he's still doing his thing, not edge guarding.
Yeah.
What else?
If Johnny were a bookshelf, everything would fall over because there's no edge guards on the bookshelf.
Wow! Oh! Woo! Okay, I'm gonna give that one an 8 out of 10. I kind of like that one.
All right. So
John doesn't like it. Our producer is booing Daniel through the chat.
No Johns. All right. You want to read the next question?
Yeah, so with Hax moving to Fox, supposedly, at least he will probably after this last NorCal hurrah with Falcon. With Hax moving to Fox, will there ever be a Falcon player who gets top 8 at like an international level tournament, like an Apex Evo level tournament ever again?
What about Zach? Zach can answer this first.
I don't think so. I don't think Falcon has the capacity to place top 5 at national.
Of course, Zach's gonna say no. Of course, Zach's gonna say no. He's beaten. I think Zach's the only player who's literally beaten every Falcon. Every Falcon. So he beat SS, of course. He's beaten Lord, S2J, Hax. Beat Dark Rain finally. He came into the Midwest and beat our hero. And Zoo. Okay, Zoo's beaten everyone.
That was the only time we played Dark. That's the only time I played Dark Rain.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can say that. Like, I only got to play Dark Rain at so-and-so tournament. Zoo, okay, Zoo's another person who's beaten all the Falcon mains. Those, like, the only 2 people in the world. Oh, shit, Zoo has not... Dude, Zoo hasn't beaten Mango's Falcon? Really?
No.
I know it was lopsided, but not one victory? Damn, dude.
Mango, you're washed up, dude. Your Falcon doesn't count.
So Zoo's only beaten Scorpion Master. Next question. That question's too depressing. Fuck you, Zach. Who has the best chance to beat Dr. PP right now? I assume this question is talking about people outside like the Big 5. Like, who outside the Big 5 has the best chance to beat PP? To score an upset. What do you think, Daniel?
I
know my answer.
Say Leffen. I would say Leffen.
Yeah.
Mainly because
that's my answer too.
Mainly because I think it requires a certain character. So Falcons, I don't think can beat PB. That's what essentially retired Hax's Falcon. I think he's just too good against Sheik. I mean, Kirby Kaze would be the next person, I guess, but I would say Leffen, just given the matchups and the characters.
Dude, I was always like up April 2012. I had always thought like the person who upsets PP, like a big upset, is going to be like a really good and fast Fox. And then Javi, like, proved me right. I was so happy. I'm sad for PP, but like I was happy to see that somebody could do it and just like overwhelm PP because he always makes you play his game, and then Javi comes in and kind of does the opposite. So yeah, Leffen, I agree.
All right. Are we still doing the free Melee Twitter campaign during ROM 7?
I don't know about this. This was kind of a scar. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Daniel.
No one has actively stopped it, but no one's actually making an effort to do it. So, MIA. What about you? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know about this anymore because I mean, it's not that I feel lazy or I don't think the community can do it. It's just I think MLG and Evo have been talking seriously with Nintendo already, and I highly doubt any sort of social media campaign is really going to affect things at this point in the negotiations. It's not the same as last year where there was a big backlash and like the sheer volume of social media caused Nintendo to reverse its decision in like one day. I think this is more of like a really abstract thing where people don't really see the immediate issue because it's hard to understand. Like the whole, you know, it's not as blunt and obvious as the like, oh, big blocked sign in front of Melee logo on that Kotaku article. Like Melee blocked from streaming. It's not anything that clear, so I think it's going to be too hard to organize a social media campaign on that, and like even if we do, to do it with any sort of effectiveness.
Okay.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I would agree. It's not, but then I don't think the question is whether or not it's going to be effective, but whether or not we're still doing it.
So I think you can tell what my answer is.
Yeah, I know you're jaded, but I feel like unless Scar proactively is doing this, but I assume he's really busy, I don't think it's going to happen.
The views of Jogo Guy do not express the views of all of MIOM. I'm being put on blast for not being on board this free Melee hashtag thing.
Alrighty. So that ends the questions. We have an interesting section between, we're going to play buy or sell. So we're going to list a player and say whether we buy or sell on their person's stock.
So do you have a list?
And so, yes, I do. So we're going to start with, we'll start with the Hungrybox stock.
Woo!
Are you buying, selling, or holding?
Dude, no holding. That's copping out. No, we're either buying or selling. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna have to sell because you know, Hungrybox for so many years he only dropped sets to like the top players, like the top 4 players, and all of a sudden in the last few months, you know, he drops a set to Leffen, he drops a set to Kobold. I think it's looking a little shaky for Hungrybox. I'm gonna have to sell.
Okay. I'm gonna buy on Hungrybox. I think.
Still got
faith. I think he's still a top 4, and I'm gonna be. I think he still has a shot at Dr. PP. I mean, Dr. PP, you know, beat him last time, but Hungrybox has taken the last couple of sets. So I think it really comes down to bracket, and I could see him getting as high as top 2 or possibly winning a tournament if he doesn't run into Mitaking.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to show you a page that will convince everybody why I'm selling the stock on Hungrybox. It's going to give me a second here. Okay. Go to Smashboard's rankings, Melee, Hungrybox. All right, where's that stream chat? Boom! Everybody check out that Smashboards link and tell me what you see on the page. You see a bunch of like giant tournaments, you know, your Apex 2014s, your Zeniths, your Big Houses. How many first places do you see next to Hungrybox's name on all those? It is all second, a third, and a random fifth thrown in there. Like I feel like he's got that like last little hump to pass to win these international level tournaments, and it's consistently shown that he just doesn't do that. Whereas people like PP, M2K, and Mango, like they've got those rings, those championship rings that we talked about. They've got plenty of them.
So he's Karl Malone. I mean, that's nothing to be ashamed of.
He's the Karl Malone, dude. He's the fiction on the national level.
Right,
I don't know if you can say that about Kevin Durant quite yet.
All right, let's move on to the next person.
Yeah.
Mango. By yourself.
Oh my god.
That'd be controversial. I'm sorry, Mango, for putting you on blast. I'll start. I think it's a legitimate that he has a kid and he lives in the Midwest. By virtue of living in the Midwest, you lose 40% of your skill level. So just on that note alone, I'm selling.
40%. How long did it take you to come up with this statistic of like how much Midwest eats from your skill level?
Well, 68% of all statistics are made up, so just base it off of that statement.
I see. I mean, that's a fair point. Vans came to Midwest. He kind of got Midwested. Who else? There was somebody else. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but Midwest does that to people. Yo, I'm still gonna buy the Mango stock though, because Apex 2014 showed me a lot. Like he still bodied left in Game 5. Like those matches against PP and M2K were super competitive. Like I was going into those sets, I was kind of worried. Like my thought process was, okay, Mango, he's been living in the Midwest for 4 or 5 months, and admittedly, yeah, Midwest sucks, whatever. He doesn't even have a cube for half of that time, and the other half he's just practicing against computers for the most part, and bodying like scrubs, like PGH Carroll and Sweet. So I was like, I don't know if he can even like. I'm afraid he'll get 3-0'd by somebody who's just playing super on point. But like they were all super competitive. Those sets, Mango versus PP, Mango versus M2K, they were super super competitive, and like it was at a point where I think it was just who was playing better that day, and M2K he's just on a roll, right? So there wasn't much more to say about that. Right. Mango, he dropped a couple edge guards, he got the percentages, but like a couple kills just didn't end early enough.
Right. Next one, Leffen. We kind of talked about it, so we can go quickly. What do you guys think?
Yeah, dude, I'm definitely buying Leffen stock, dude. Like, come on, you gotta look at his Apex 2014 bracket. He had the most impressive run to top 8. He beat Scar. Okay, that's not so impressive, but he beat Darrow, Axe, Hungry Box, and Cobol. Like that's a super impressive run to me. And then, of course, he beat Armada 2 sets at Beast. I don't care if it's like retired, not retired Armada. Like he still beat him. That's the first time Armada's dropped a European set to a European since 2007.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'd buy. All right,
definite buy. I'm gonna have to sell on the soft stock. I'm sorry. He had a great run at Apex. I'll give him that. But having said that, he had the dream puff bracket. He got a 3-month-old Hax Fox, and he got a top European player who, despite how amazing he is, absolutely does not know the puff matchup, as evidenced by the fact that he got like crouch arrested 7 times. We're talking, of course, about Ice. So I love Ice, but man, he's got to learn that puff matchup before he comes back for another U.S. national.
Right. I'm gonna keep my eye on the soft stock, and when it drops ridiculously low, I'm gonna buy and short sell it. But for now, I'm gonna sell.
Yo.
All right.
Soft was getting put on blast at a couple tournaments in Ohio. What was it? So he lost to 4% and Nika Boy. So there you go.
Have 2 more, so we'll just run through it. The Moon.
I'll buy his stock. Like I don't think he's as highly rated as a lot of people are making him out to be. Like on the MIOM SSBM rank, you had a panel discussion where it was like, who's the most promising player of 2014, and like 4 out of the 5 people you asked at the Moon I'm not that high on his stock, but I do think, like, I really like his attitude, and I think he'll definitely be improving. Like, so I definitely buy his stock.
All right. And then the last one, our favorite Yoshi.
Amsa?
What do you think? Yes.
Oh my god, that is so tough. Can I defer? Zach, can you go? Because, like, Zach, you actually played him, and I feel like, you know, as a top player, you can notice the intricacies of, like, how his Yoshi plays and be able to, like, be more qualified to talk about whether it's gimmicky or whether he's, like, actually a great player or whatnot. Uh-oh.
Is Zach listening?
Zach's sound stopped working, according to the chat.
Oh, no.
I really want to hear his thoughts on Amsa. Yeah, I'm really bummed about that. Like, I'm gonna have to cop out. I don't know whether I should buy or sell Amsa. I'm gonna have to cop out and say, like, I need another national for me to decide.
I'm gonna buy, and my rationale is this: is that it's like Axe but more extreme. Like with Axe, I think for the most part, I think it's reasonable to say that SoCal is the top SoCal players have kind of figured out Axe. Like Levage is beating him, West Bulls is beating him. And so you're seeing a lot more people beat him, whereas when Axe first got on the scene, he would dominate because Foxes didn't know what to do. Now with Amsa, like there's even less exposure to Yoshi. Like SoCal can't play Arizona. Like SoCal can't go play Japan. You know, like they're too far apart, and the amount of opportunities you have to play against a Yoshi that can parry and have completely different game mechanics is so few and far between that I think he's going to maintain it at least for 2014. And that's my opinion. So
that is actually a great point. Like you're just simply not going to be able to replicate the Yoshi experience that you get, you know, if you're in Japan. I don't know, unless you live with Vector Man or something. Whatever.
I don't think they're the same class though. Like Amsa.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Just from a parry, if you down air him as Falco and he parries it, you can die. Like that's like
if you attack him on a platform, you might die. He's gonna shield drop, like double jump cancel, do some weird shit, and just kill you.
All right. So I think that's it. We're at 2 hours. Any closing thoughts?
Shout outs to Scar for having enough faith in me to let us run a Scarless show, and yeah, shout outs to Evo and Evo and MLG for keeping on trying in terms of the Nintendo thing. The When's Melee title has a double meaning. It has, you know, it's the fact that we have so much FGC Smash integration recently, and also literally When's Melee, because come on Nintendo, we're waiting for you to give the green light to MLG and Evo. When's Melee?
When is Melee? Alrighty, I think that about wraps it up. Good night, everybody.
All right, John, you can take us off air. We're done. Thanks for tuning in, guys.